This is Robert Sterling, and you're watching the Guerrilla News Network.
Happy New Year. It's 2000, and you know what? They're out to get us. But who are they? Black helicopters, UFOs, or maybe they're the leaders of the New World Order or the global snoops. What dangers lurk ahead for mankind? Conspiracies and national cover-ups. Movies and books have made them famous. Well, we've got the authors and the experts that can dispel the myths and reveal which conspiracies will change the way we live during the next millennium. Are they out to get us? It's Conspiracy 2000 and beyond right now on The Full Nelson. I'm Nelson, and Happy New Year. Welcome to a special edition of The Full Nelson and the New Millennium. All right, well, we're still here. Now, many doomsday conspiracy theorists didn't think we'd make it this far, and some still believe we won't make it very far after 2000. Whether it's threats from the New World Order or alien invasion, some people believe the world just is not safe, even if we escape the Y2K virus. Well, conspiracists have poked holes in decades of events and government explanations, and they continue to question the cover-ups and mysteries of our time. Here via satellite to talk about this with me in LA is Jonathan Vankin. He's a journalist and the author of several conspiracy books, including the 70 Greatest Conspiracies of All Time. And here in our New York studios with me is Kenn Thomas, editor and publisher of Steam Shovel Press, a quarterly magazine that examines conspiracy topics. David Benahum, a contributing editor for Wired magazine. John Elliston, a journalist who studies declassified government documents and then posts them and writes about them on his website Dossier on Periscope.com. And Robert Sterling, who's the editor of Conformist.com. All right, thank you guys for all being here, and Jonathan, you in LA. Well, we made it to 2000, and a whole lot of people thought we wouldn't, right? I mean, everyone prophesied that the end was coming, the end was coming. And people have been prophesying this for years, for decades. What's up with that? I mean, it didn't happen. We made it. You surprised? You're all silent. None of you are surprised?
No, not at all. Actually, the first thing that comes to mind...
Aren't you the paranoid guys? Aren't you the ones that were supposed to expect the worst?
I've always been very relaxed about it. I mean, my feeling, what comes to mind when I hear you say this is the work of another conspiracy theorist, a woman named Acharya S., who has written this book called The Christ Conspiracy, in which she makes the case that there's not a single shred of proof that Jesus Christ was historically real. So the idea that the year 2000, which is 2,000 years from the birth of somebody who's not real, signifies anything special is, you know, silly. And so I thought...
Why then do we make such a big deal out of 2000? Why was 2000 such a big, important event for us in terms of what was going to happen to the world? I mean, people talked about a government takeover, you know, that this would be the ideal time for the government to take over and shut us down.
Well, you know, to me it was not really too much of an issue, because the idea that the government was going to take over seemed ludicrous because, you know, they already had taken over. You know, and furthermore, I was never too worried about it, because to me the whole idea, I don't know, I've always felt that our society has many faults, or our government has many faults, but a lack of resiliency certainly wasn't one of them, so I'm not surprised at all.
No surprises. Jonathan, out there in LA, what do you think? You studied conspiracies for a long time, and you actually kind of went undercover, didn't you? Sort of, is that the right way to put it? I mean, I understand you kind of became a conspiracy freak to write a book.
In my first book, I kind of, I don't know if I'd say I became a freak exactly, but...
Well, that was my word, not yours. I don't want to say that you describe yourself that way. But it sounds like you went a little into the world in a deep way.
Right, the idea was to just, you know, I'd never really been into these things that much before, was to just sort of open my mind to them and to try to put myself in that same mindset. And you know, you find when you start reading a lot of the things that the so-called conspiracy theorists are also reading or have written themselves, that it's really not that hard to put yourself in the mindset, because there often is a pretty solid foundation of factual information underlying a lot of conspiracy theories. It's often, you know, the conclusions and the connections that are made, which sometimes don't make sense and sometimes do make sense. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't too hard to get myself into that frame of mind.
But before you did,
a lot harder to get yourself out of it.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask. But before you went in, did you view it kind of with skepticism, like, oh, these people come up with these wacky ideas and they think, you know, the world's coming to an end and the government's shutting everything down and in control?
I mean, for me, it wasn't that. It wasn't like I was thinking, oh, these people are all so crazy. I was more wondering why the rest of us in society and the media and academia think they're so crazy. I mean, why is it that if you have an idea that is essentially, you know, a dissenting opinion, an idea that is you know, discredits our government or you know, implies some sort of terrible motives to people who are not supposed to think bad things about, why is it that if you think that, you're a pariah? I mean, why are certain ideas not acceptable? And that was really what I was more interested in. I've always been open to all sorts of ideas. It's more, you know,
Rob, you're nodding your head as he's talking, especially when he says the idea that why are you so discredited for thinking there's something hidden?
Well, yeah, I mean, to begin with, let me kiss John's ass a little bit. He's one of the main reasons I got into the subject, reading his book, and that whole philosophy of, you know, why is it that certain ideas, if you believe them, that not only are you wrong, perhaps, but they're dangerous and evil, and that someone has to be discredited. That really got me thinking and made me realize, you know, there's something to this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, you know what? We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to kind of jump in right into the deep conspiracy stuff. Roswell, Area 51, crop circles, Men in Black. And this whole question, is there something out there? We made contact, or are we just crazy to think that? So stay with us.
Years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat. And 15 minutes ago, you knew that people were alone on this planet. Imagine what you'll know tomorrow.
I'm Rob Nelson. Welcome back to our special Millennium edition of the Full Nelson. Are they out to get us? Okay, crop circles, UFO sightings, animal mutations. Is this some proof of extraterrestrials, John? Is there evidence out there?
It's none that I've come across. It's not my area that I care about a lot, but it opens up a lot of investigations of areas that I think are real concrete and real related to the substance of people's lives. A lot of conspiracy theory, as it's marketed on Fox and other networks, comes out truly in a mass market infotainment mold. But some of these topics are very genuine concerns about power and about who makes the decisions about people's lives. And so the ET matters and the crop circle matters are an important issue in some people's lives. But I think other conspiracy theories are far more relevant.